Laura and Mike welcome each of us to this holy occasion. We are their guests on a beautiful day to witness the covenant promises they make to each other to journey together as companions and lovers, as husband and wife, a commitment of life and loving faithfulness. We're their guests on their wedding day, and it is their hope that, having coming through the stress of Christmas and the stress of wedding preparation, that this can be a time when we can be together in a moment of beauty, calm, deep peace, where we feel life's goodness and where we share ourselves deeply and delight in the gift of human love and care. For this is our time, not only for Mike and Laura, but ours, to find ourselves being met and uplifted by kindness coming from our deepest center and finding life's warm embrace. We are here to be who we are. Here we need no baggage. For this is a moment where each of us can be home. Just come. Take a deep breath. Let's do our collective sigh. 1, 2, 3. And be fully present in this moment. Welcome to Love Center. And as the poet John Lassalle reminds us, leave your baggage at the door. It does not serve you here, not here, deep within the open center, the still node around which the shining world turns. No map you have drawn or borrowed precisely describes this place. No path leads in or out. No landmark proves you've arrived. The treasures here cannot be collected, nor can they leave. Neither can we. Leave your baggage at the door now. It's useless. There's no time for sharpening the instruments on which you think your life depends. Reach back for memories. Your mind closes on air. Every future springs from one bright seed. Silence marks the syncopated pause. Silence tunes her choir. It is life, is what you have come for, and there's no other time but this. Leave your baggage at the door. If you're lucky, some kind soul will have stolen all things that you carry with you will obscure your glory. All your achievements are but a crown of colored glass. This is the place where journeys end. Now is the time of all beginning. The only possibility now is to shine. For the wedding day, Laura and Mike have chosen 4 readings, and the first will be read by Mike's son, Duncan.
True Love by Robert Fulghum. We're all a little weird, and life is a little weird. And when we find someone whose weirdness is compatible with ours, we join up with them and fall into mutually satisfying weirdness, and call it love. True love.
And the second reading will be read by Linda, one of Laura's sisters.
From the Essential Rumi, translated by Coleman Barks. When I am with you, we stay up all night. When you're not here, I can't go to sleep. Praise God for these 2 insomnias and the difference between them. The minute I heard my first love story, I started looking for you, not knowing how blind that was. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They're in each other all along.
And Susie will read for us too. She's only going to hold one bouquet while she does it.
This is an excerpt from the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court decision that made the state the first to authorize gay marriage. Marriage is a vital social institution. The exclusive commitment of two individuals to each other nurtures love and mutual support. It brings stability to our society. For those who choose to marry and for their children, marriage provides an abundance of legal, financial, and social benefits. In return, it imposes weighty legal, financial, and social obligations. Without question, civil marriage enhances the welfare of the community. It is a social institution of the highest importance. Marriage also bestows enormous private and social advantages on those who choose to marry. Civil marriage is at once a deeply personal commitment to another human being and a highly public celebration of the ideals of mutuality, companionship, intimacy, fidelity, and family. Because it fulfills yearnings for security, safe haven, and connection that express our common humanity, civil marriage is an esteemed institution, and the decision whether and whom to marry is among life's most momentous acts of self-definition.
And Aunt Sarah, the Reverend Dr. Sarah Hallstrand, will do our last reading.
This reading comes from the Bible, the love chapter, 1 Corinthians 13, 1 through 7. If I speak with tongues of men and angels, but do not have love, I have become a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and know all mysteries and knowledge, and if I have faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. And if I give all my possessions to feed the poor, and if I surrender my body to be burned, but I do not have love, it profits me nothing. For love is patient, and love is kind. Love is not jealous. Love does not brag, is not arrogant, does not act unbecomingly. It does not seek its own, is not provoked, does not take into account a wrong suffered, does not rejoice in the unrighteousness, but rejoices in the truth, bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things.
You may be seated. I think I'll give you a little heads up. Laura, when I was talking about this, I said, well, when I do my homily, do you want me to sit down? And Laura, ever practical, said, well, how long is it? And I told her, and she said, we better sit down. A riddle for you today. Where does Newport Beach and Syracuse, New York intersect? The answer is Sarasota, 2017. That's the short answer for two lifetimes that have converged. And you and I are privileged as the Magi were when they looked in the heavens and saw something truly wonderful happening in their world. And they followed its brightness. We gather here to celebrate Michael Lee Hodge, who was born in Newport Beach, California, and Laura Ann Ekas, who was born in Syracuse, New York. History doesn't give us all of the details of the ancient astronomers' discovery in the brilliant heavens, but astronomy leaves faint trails in milky skies. Neither do we recall all the events that have come together to create this new light in the skies. But we know of a baby boy born in California, the middle son, and the oldest daughter to a graduate student in physics and his wife, a chemist for Bristol Myers. With a pedigree like that, you knew they would cook up something wonderful. But big moves were part of these children's destinies. Laura's family soon moved to Milwaukee, and Mike grew up in Oklahoma, where his mother, Gail Gold, had moved her family to be close to her mother, who helped raise the boys. Mike's mother, Gail, was not here today because his brother David and his wife Ruby gave birth to a son on Christmas Day. She brought forth her firstborn son on Christmas Day and named him Benjamin. Ann and Jim were so pleased with the results that they had in Syracuse that when they got to Milwaukee, 2 more daughters followed. Linda was born in 1972. I'm not giving away a secret, am I? And Susan Ruth made her debut in 74, just as her grandmother Egas retired after almost 30 years as a business administrator at the College of Business at Syracuse University. Jim left St. Joseph's Hospital, and he and Ann and their family were soon headed west, putting down roots and used their considerable skill to create a software computer company. Laura went off to the Claremont colleges in California and then came back to settle in Seattle to work in the software development field and is currently developing communications for hospital IT. Andy made a note of that. Laura also discovered she had a flair for writing, and this is her passion. She worked to develop a lifestyle that provided both a career and time to give life and breath to the world that is dancing inside her head. Laura is writing a new near-future novel about a neurologist who discovers her brother, a pharmaceutical CEO, may know more about the company's best-selling drugs than he reveals. Now, you may want to check that out at the reception. Mike has done some traveling himself. After graduating from the University of Oklahoma with a degree in astronomy and journalism, he headed off to New York City. He then landed in Las Cruces, New Mexico, to work as a civil engineer and run a comic book store. Here, first son Duncan was born to Mike and Tamara, his first wife. His next orbit took him back to Oklahoma, where he started as a programmer in patient billing systems and became webmaster for the hospital system's content. And son Calvin, I have a good word that you were born there. Microsoft hired Mike to build as a build engineer on an internal project handling the tracking systems for consultants, and he was off to Seattle. I just am reading verbatim what he told me. I don't have an idea in my head about what he did. But the move to Seattle provided a transition and healing from a broken marriage. Now he works for General Electric, where he runs a private cloud. There's that sky watching again. And used by developers to check out the environment and to do whatever testing they need. Like many persons, Mike and Laura check out dating on the horizon of the internet. They will give you a brief testimony to the computer's power to cut through the dross and to get through the gold. For in 2008, the circuitry connected Mike and Laura. Like charged particles, they were attracted to each other. Laura and Mike discovered, among other things, their relationship with the Unitarian Universalist Church. They both had been youth leaders. Mike's path veered off into a rebound marriage, which ended quickly. But in October 2015, Laura and Mike were again reconnected, and this time the planets were in alignment. Laura posted on her Facebook page about a recent trip to Sweden. Mike read the post and contacted her. It turned out that they were both pretty much in the same place, both getting over last difficult relationships. Laura wanted some breathing room, and besides, she was finishing a very demanding contract. Took a lot of her time. She kept putting Mike off. But when they finally met for coffee, it turns out they only live 6 blocks away from each other. This time, they both acknowledged that the chemistry was different. Their journeys of the past 7 years had brought them to a new place. Laura found in Cloudmaster, Seattle filmmaker who specializes in low-budget film using the technology of 360-degree cameras. I know nothing about this, but I know it's going to be wonderful. In Mike, there was someone who was intelligent, someone who made her laugh. He demurs. He says he simply has the mutant ability to remember facts in direct proportion to their lack of utility. But Laura sees a good father, a snarky personality with a unique take on life. She recognizes that snarkiness may reside on other family trees too. Mike is attracted to this lovely woman who has so much going on in her head. It's a case where being with Laura, they're totally present for each other, mentally, emotionally, and physically. They enjoy, as Duncan read for us, the weirdness of life and finding someone to share life's weirdness and falling mutually and satisfyingly into true love. The Magi knew that they were seeking something extraordinary too when they set out to follow the star, or 2 planets and a star in conjunction, but weren't certain where that would lead. Laura and Mike found in getting back together, this time was different. Mike acknowledges that he has grown, and Laura says she was looking deep within herself to learn to trust her intuition, to know what was right for her. Her parents wisely counseled that only she could decide on Mr. Right, but they reminded her nobody was perfect. Deliberating on her parents' advice, she decided that they were right. Mike is not perfect, but he is perfect for her. When Laura returned to Seattle after the Egas family Christmas last year here, Mike picked her up at the airport, and through a series of twists of fate, they discovered there was an abiding peace and joy in each other's company. And Calvin and Duncan found a comfortable place where their dad and Laura could be together. Like the Magi, it took them a while to follow the star to its ascendancy. We're not sure how the fates were at work, but the Magi did find a house where the bright star had guarded them, and what a difference that journey has made. Recognizing where the bright star dwells can be a life journey for each of us. It is as Neil deGrasse Tyson wrote, recognizing that the very molecules that make up your body, the atoms that construct the molecules, are traceable to crucibles that were once the centers of high-mass stars that exploded their chemically rich guts into the galaxy, enriching the pristine gas clouds with the chemistry of life. So that we're all connected to each other biologically, to the Earth chemically, and to the rest of the universe anatomically. Atomically. Sorry. Oh, that was a big move, wasn't it? Sorry. That makes me smile. Well, it does me too, because I make so many mistakes. That makes me smile. And I actually feel quite large at the end of it. It's not that we're better than the universe. We're a part of the universe. We are in the universe. The universe is in us. We are glad to be here today to thank God for Mike and Laura's galactic journeys, finding who they were, finding themselves and their home in this galaxy. It seems a paltry gesture, but of earth-shaking proportions to add our blessing to the tender commitment they are formalizing today. May the bright starlight of finding your beloved fill your life. May the light and warmth of your love, kindness, and acceptance shine on those around you, those who have loved you and continue to love you. May this marriage shine with kindness, compassion, laughter, forgiveness, and grace. And may you give the blessed peace of acceptance to fellow travelers on this third planet from the sun. May you find in each other's day a time to reflect on the great gift of your companionship. A raspberry sunset, drops of rain on the cedar, or the simple joy of eating a meal together. May Duncan and Calvin be rays of hope, pointing to wisdom and understanding in the new age to come. And may you, Mike and Laura, arrive at winter's love, rejoicing more fully than in this shining moment of commitment. That is our blessing for you and our prayer as you now join your lives together. I would ask the bride party to come back. Before this company, I ask you to affirm your willingness to enter into this covenant of marriage, to share all the joys and sorrows of this new relationship, whatever the future may hold. Mike, will you have Laura Ann Ekus to be your wife? And will you love her faithfully as long as you both shall live? If this is so, answer, I will. And Laura, will you have Michael Lee Hodge to be your husband? And will you love him faithfully as long as you both shall live? I will. Marriages create families, and families play an integral part in a family's flourishing. I would ask Jim and Ann and Calvin to come up here and join your dad and Duncan, and you join stand beside Laura. Jim and Ann, do you offer your loving support, and will you encourage Laura and Mike in the covenant promise they are making to each other? If this is so, please say, we do.
We do.
Duncan and Calvin, you are entering into a new family with your dad and Laura. Will you give this new family your trust, love, and affection? If this is so, please respond, I will. Laura and Duncan, Laura and Mike, will you be loving parents to Duncan and Calvin? If this is so, please respond, we will.
We will.
Okay, Mike, I ask you to come to the altar and get. will you take Mike's right hand in yours and repeat after me. Today, surrounded by the people who love us, I, Laura, choose you, Mike, to be my husband. I am proud to be your wife and to join my life with yours. I vow now to support you, to inspire you, and above all, love you. For better or worse, in sickness and in health, for richer or for poorer, as long as we both shall live. Okay, let go of hands. Mike, will you take Laura's right hand in yours and repeat after me. Today, surrounded by the people who love us,
Today, surrounded by the people who love us,
I, Mike, choose you, Laura, to be my wife.
I, Mike, choose you, Laura, to be my wife.
I am proud to be your husband
I am proud to be your husband
and join my life with yours.
and join my life with yours.
I vow to support you,
I vow to support you,
inspire you,
inspire you,
and above all, love you.
and above all, love you.
For better or for worse,
For better or worse,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
for richer or for poorer,
for richer or for poorer,
as long as we both shall live.
as long as we both shall live.
What do you bring to symbolize your love? Two rings of finest gold. I bet you can see from there that they're different sizes. But what's so great about both of them is they're unending circles. And may they be reminded of unending love and faithful living every time they look at these. Laura, I give you this ring
Laura, I give you this ring
as a sign of my love and faithfulness.
as a sign of my love and faithfulness.
I receive this ring as a sign of our love and faithfulness. Mike, I give you this ring as a sign of my love and faithfulness. I receive this ring
I receive this ring
as a sign of our love and faithfulness.
as a sign of our love and faithfulness.
It was easy to stand in front of them without the train of rehearsal. Those who God has joined together, but no one separate. Laura and Mike, you are wife and husband, making of your covenant commitment in this public display of your love and your caring for each other. Be kind in heart, be merciful, be gentle, be forgiving, and let the love that you express today grow and continue throughout the world and throughout your life as a sign of this covenant, of these shiny rings, and of the love that encircles your hearts. Jesus loved to tell stories. Always telling a story that was pretty easy to understand, but when you dug down to it, there was a lot more in it than that. He was talking this time about building life on a solid foundation. And then he veers off and he talks about putting your light, letting it shine, put it on a candlestand, or letting the world see the great love that is within you. That's part of the universe. That's part of you and that you share with the world. So, following Jesus' example, we light the candle of your new family, and may it always shine bright. May the God of Abraham and Sarah, who watch over all families, establish your new home in steadfast love and faithfulness. Dear family and friends, receive into your heart Laura and Mike Hodges and Laura, Mike Hodge and Laura Hodge.